What's good, y'all? It's your man, point guard, Stephen Bardo, coming back to you for another live show, live edition of Next Chapter Forward. So, guys, a year ago, I packed two bags and I left a 25-year broadcasting career behind. Here's what nobody prepared me for. Okay, we're gonna talk about what it's like, what nobody tells you about year one abroad. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that take place when you're trying to relocate, you're trying to find yourself. And there's be some things that we can discuss. I've written myself some notes. I'm not necessarily going to have a lot of things here. Oh, I got to change this. I will take that out. Welcome to the Next Chapter Forward, guys. I'm your host, Stephen Bardo. Hope you guys are doing well. I think this is a very important topic because a lot of times when you watch travelers on YouTube, they will glorify things, and you see people who are slow traveling, meaning that they're not necessarily they're not doing what I'm doing. They're not picking one place and being there. They're kind of moving around a little bit. They'll be in a month here, 3 months here, just depend on what the tourist visa looks like or what they want. And so, a lot of the people that you're seeing on YouTube, from my perspective, I won't say a lot. It's about half and half. Half of the people that go and stay in one location, and then there's half that kind of move around. I'm the former part, the person that picked Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and said, this is where I'm going to set up shop. It may not be my last destination, but it was definitely going to be my first, and I was going to be here for a little bit. So it's going well. I can't complain. But here's one of the things that one of the first things that I noticed. There's an identity shift that you have to deal with, gentlemen, when you are setting up a new life. Now, you got to understand, I'm going to try to break this down as best I can. When basketball has been your life, like it's been mine, I've been a public figure for a long time. In my hometown of Carbondale, Illinois, I was born into a very successful family in terms of sports and education. My dad was a college professor, did very well, had a 55-year Hall of Fame career at Southern Illinois University in various duties. But he's a patriarch of the family, and he set the tone. And so we were expected to participate in sports. I dreamed of playing in the NBA. I didn't think I was going to when I was a kid, but I had a poster of Dr. J on my wall and all that. So I come from a basketball family. And so I kind of had social status from day one, being born into the Bardo family. My dad played college basketball. My brother, who's older, 6 years older, he played college basketball. My sister, who was 5 years older, played college basketball. And yours truly played college and pro. And so when you're developing your self-identity as someone that has a lot of social status, and then you move to Mexico and nobody knows me down here, and I love it. I absolutely love it. That's not an identity shift that I've really struggled with. Towards the back end of my career in television, I didn't like going out a lot because sometimes I just want to go hang out. I don't want to talk to people about basketball. I just want to go out and enjoy myself or whomever I'm with, family or friends. A lot of times I couldn't do that. Well, I could do that, but I was always in Chicago, especially someone would come up and they'd recognize, to the point where my son, my youngest son, Landon, would often say when he was a lot younger, he's like, Dad, are we going to get bothered where we're going today? Because he hated people coming up and interrupting us. Fast forward to now, me and Landon can go out here in Playa del Carmen. And I mean, people know us from me being here, creating my own community. But outside of that, I don't get bothered. But is that identity shift going to be difficult for you? Because a lot of times, Black men, we put so much in our identity because a lot of our lives in the United States, we experience people trying to take things from us, trying to lessen our light, trying to dampen our impact. And we struggle with being human in the United States. We struggle with, I know I did. I struggled with feelings that I had to prove that I belonged. You know, I didn't realize it until this year here in Mexico that that's what I was doing, because I was so busy. I was caught up in the lifestyle. I was doing different things. But, here, when you go to another place, you're going to learn yourself. You're going to learn your true self, not what you think you are. You're going to learn your true self. Okay. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that identity shift. Number 2, the loneliness window. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real. When you move to another country, even though I did a great job of developing friendships and community before I moved down here, the Creator has blessed this gentleman named Michael Englehart. Michael is a member of our group, our Black men's group down here in Playa del Carmen, and he's been the Creator sent him to me. He is so willing to help other brothers, and whatever I needed, he was there. He'd go out with me. He'd go to lunch. He'd go to dinner. We'd go to have drinks. We might enjoy some green together. You know what I'm saying? He was a brother. He's a true brother. And one of the things in the next chapter forward that I realize I need to do is we're developing a network of Black people, in particular Black men, when they relocate in these different places. So I've got contacts in Panama, Thailand, Malaysia, Portugal, Ghana, Kenya. I've got some contacts that are familiar with the next chapter forward, are willing to help brothers that come to those countries, and we want to grow this to the areas that we try to encourage brothers to go to. Okay. But the loneliness piece is real, guys, because I got tired of bothering Michael. He's got his own life. And so loneliness is there. It's something that you're going to have to deal with. It's something that obviously is not fun. But, if you're not the type of person that will put themselves out there and try to speak another language, try to learn another language, try to learn another culture, be engaging with that culture, be engaging with those people, then you better have a whole lot of books. You better have access to everything you got back in the States, because you're going to be lonely. And if you don't put yourself out there and try to create community, it can be a lonely proposition. Now, the United States, in particular, the situation with COVID, I know that I became a lot more withdrawn. I became a lot more of a loner. Before COVID, I thought I was an extrovert. After COVID, I realized that I was an introvert in an extroverted world, meaning that I had a high profile socially, and I did it. I would engage people. I'm very friendly. I'm just a nice guy. That's who my true character is. I'm a very nice man to any and everybody that I approach, if I get reciprocal energy coming back. Now, I can be a mean son of a. I can be very, very mean. I've got two sides now. That coin, that one side is very pleasant, very loving, very giving. The other side, you don't want to see. But those are things that you need to think about in your first year when you go. How are you going to fit that loneliness gap? Are you going to build community? Will you get in these Facebook groups that are already established in these countries that you're trying to relocate to? Will you join those before you leave? Because that's going to be crucial for you accessing different goods and services that you're going to need. Help when things arise, because life happens. Even when you move out of the United States, things happen that you need help with. How are you going to deal with that? That's something you need to think about. The logistics grind, okay? Banking, residency application, finding reliable Wi-Fi, learning where things are. It's not hard, but it's tough, guys. When you first get here, I'm not going to lie to you. It's tough. Logistics piece is tough. Now, I'm fortunate that the place that I'm renting, they cover the Wi-Fi. I believe they cover the water, and I cover the electricity. No, I cover the electricity and water. They cover the Wi-Fi. So hopefully, when you go to a place, the Wi-Fi will be included. But here in Mexico, it's advised by other immigrants, American immigrants that have immigrated here. It's advised that you try not to deal with Wi-Fi here in Mexico because it can be difficult. It can be a nightmare for whatever reason. So hopefully, those would be things that if you work with me, that we can work out in advance to where you're living, that's worked out. But finding these different things, guys, it's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be challenging. It's not for the weak at heart. Okay, so guys, put in the comments what are you most afraid of, and what do you think would be harder than you expect? Okay, now I want you to type free throw 15 in the comments if this is resonating with you and you want to get on a free 15-minute call with yours truly. I'm gonna share something with you guys, man. I was near tears this morning because the link and the system that I'd been using to schedule these free throw 15 calls is broken. And I checked it this morning, and I've been really pushing to get guys on these free throw 15 calls. And when they come, it's been great. And if you were to, maybe I'll get one or two of the brothers on here that we've had calls with, and they can share with you their own experience. But it's great for me because I get more information about areas that I'm not quite as versed in that I need to be to really help you out in the best way I can possibly do that. So these calls are great. So type free throw 15, and it's a new link. I've got a new company I'm using. And I'm very thank you, creator, that I was able to shift that quickly to set something up to where I can service you guys properly, because that free throw 15 link had been broken the last couple days. And I was wondering why I wasn't getting guys scheduled to call, because I had a pretty consistent flow of men that were joining me on these calls, and they were getting great value out of it, as was I. So the link is fixed. You can go to my bio. It's in the Linktree bio in my link. Free throw 15 call. The new link is up there. You can schedule yours, or just type free throw 15 in the comments, and I'll send you a link myself. Okay. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Now, what is easier than I expected? Okay. What is easier than I expected? I'm gonna share a story before I get into this. There's a brother that's in our group named Kareem that I absolutely love. He's one of my favorites. He and Michael and Mark and Shorter Kareem and Frank. I love these guys, man. They become brothers. They become like brothers to me here. Kareem, highly intelligent brother that works in he's kind of a Google Ads expert. He works in IT. He's a baller. He's okay. In the last 12 months, he took at least 3 weeks or a month in Brazil. He went to Colombia. I believe he went to Panama, and he's been to Mexico City twice. And there's one other place he went. Oh, I think he went back to the States 2 or 3 times. Do you know what he spent over the last 12 months? And let me preface this by saying that where I'm sitting, Playa del Carmen, is one of the most expensive areas in Latin America. Playa del Carmen, Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, in Quintana Roo, that's the name of the state. This is one of the most expensive areas in Latin America. Okay. I pay $1,500 a month for my rent here in this 2-bedroom apartment. That's on the higher end here. And I think I'm assuming Kareem is in that neighborhood. This brother spent $38,000 over the last 12 months. Now, he went to Brazil for a month. He went to Colombia for a week. Oh, he went to Peru. That's where he went. So he went to Brazil for a month. He went to Colombia for a week. He went to Peru for about a week and a half. He took 2 trips back to the States to visit his people. He went to Mexico City twice. I think that's what he told. And he spent $38,000 for 12 months. Guys, that's $3,000 a month. And he's living world class. When he's here, guys, he's outside. Kareem's not in the crib, cooking all his meals. No, Kareem is outside, kicking it. Single brother with money, doing his thing. And he's kicking it to the hilt. And he spent $38,000 for 12 months. Guys, that's possible for all of you. Okay. So what was easier than I expected? The cost of living is a lot more reasonable than I even thought initially. Okay. The numbers I had budgeted, like $3,500 to $4,000 a month, I'm not hitting that. I'm not coming anywhere close to that. And I can throw in all of my expenses that I use to run this business. I use StreamYard. I had to switch today to get Calendly. I'm on the free plan right now. Hopefully I can stay there. I'm using system.io that runs my emails and all that. I've got a Stand Store with some of my products on there. I've got Linktree, and I've got I'm missing one. I've got like 6 different things that I use for my business. I put all of those expenses in there. Plus, I've been back to the States, 4 times. Don's surgery, the last time, the time before that. Oh, and then I went to Miami to try to get my Mexican residency, which I was unable to do. So I've been to Merida, I've been to Colombia, I've been to the Dominican Republic, and I didn't spend as much as Kareem in the last 12 months. So that's a lot easier than I expected. The cost of living, and again, guys, it's one of the more. I think it's more expensive to live in Playa del Carmen than it is in Mexico City. And Mexico City is a world-class city. I believe it's more expensive to live here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I was shocked how we are received as Black people. Now, I traveled down here, at least 10 times in the last 4 to 5 years. Every time I get a break after the season, I'd shoot down here because I just love it. And so I knew that was cool, but I was still in that tourist mode. I wondered how I'd be treated when people would see me on a regular basis. It was better than I expected, guys, because I'm a curious dude. I like to learn. I like to know people's names. I like to know their stories. I like to engage with community because I feel safe. I don't feel hunted. I don't feel like the Heritage Foundation version of Mexico is waking up, figuring ways to keep Black people from reaching their best potential. We don't have that here in Mexico. There is colorism. There are people who look down on people with melanin, but nothing hits like U.S. racism. They're the OGs of racism, apartheid, and all that. U.S. is the heir apparent because apartheid had prisons. They had hard things, reminders of apartheid. The United States makes you think that you have an opportunity to do certain things, right? They tell you that you can aspire to be elite and all these things, but I won't go into that. And what was easier, guys, the mental reset. You just don't understand how much noise you have to deal with every day in the United States. It's unfreaking believable. Do you know that when you walk outside here in Playa del Carmen, you don't see billboards, right? When you go to a gas station, they're not playing music. Do you know that anywhere in the United States outside of a park, you can't get any silence? Do you know there's a reason for that? Why did people start putting radios in cars? Because they don't want you thinking. They don't want your mind to be quiet, because then you start thinking. They want you distracted all the time. In Playa, because I don't own a car, I walk everywhere. If I need to go somewhere that's further than me walking, or it's really hot outside, I jump in a taxi. I can jump in these collectivos if I wanted to. These shared mini buses that go up and down 30th Avenue. I can get all over the city if I wanted to for 50 to 75 cents. But here in Mexico, I have times of solitude where it's quiet and I can really think. And so my mental reset was really way more accelerated than I thought it would be. I thought I was going to have to get years to start moving slower and to not react to a loud sound around me. I hear a pop or a boom here in Mexico and I don't even flinch. When I heard a pop or a boom in Chicago, I would immediately turn in the direction of that sound and might hit the deck. I do nothing of the sort here. That was very, very surprising to me. I was shocked about that. Okay. So guys, put in the comments, what do you think will be easier once you all actually make the move? All right. And again, type Frito15 in the comments, or go to my bio and get your global scouting report. If you haven't done so, go ahead and do this, guys. It's fun. It's a very quick 8-question quiz. It's kind of interactive. And after it takes roughly 2 minutes. And after you get done, you get a score of your readiness. You either become a dreamer, a planner, a packer, or you're ready to relocate. Okay. You score in 4 different categories. And in those 4 different categories, you get put on the Next Chapter Forward email list. Okay. Where we're building community. Okay. So you can go to my bio. I got the link fixed. You can go to my bio. You can, or you can screenshot this URL for the Global Scouting Report. Go get your Global Scouting Report, or type Frito15 in the comments if you want to jump on a call with yours truly. Okay, let's keep it moving. Oh, this is a good one. Ooh, what I wish I would have known. Wait, what I know now that I wish I knew before coming. Okay. Guys, you don't need as much money as you think to make this happen. Stephanie Reddy does a wonderful job. Her and Rashida have what's called the Exodus Summit, and it's really geared for Black women. And they have 27,000 members in that group. Stephanie does a fantastic job of showing people that she got fed up with her job at the age of 41 in the United States. She was a pharmacy technician, I believe. So at 41, she left. And she spent the next 12 months traveling around the world. She went to a different country each month. And she got hip to this thing called house sitting, where you go house sit for people who need to leave the country and they want their pets fed and they just want their house taken care of and they don't want to leave it empty. This is a viable business that she's created for herself and for others in their community. She spent $1,200 a month for 12 months around the world. So guys, in the United States, we're so brainwashed into thinking that you have to have all this money. Once you leave the United States and you stay out of European countries, Portugal is an exception because it's still reasonably priced, but it's rising as well. But if you can stay out of European countries, European-led countries, and you can play that arbitrage game where you can make American dollars and you can live somewhere else, you don't need as much money as you think, because your American standard skews living expenses in other countries. Okay. You guys over prepare financially, but you under prepare mentally. And that's where your point guard, yours truly, can help you with that. I'm on the ground, guys. I've got a year under my belt now. I'm not somebody at the crib that's done a bunch of research and I'm just trying to aggregate information. No, I've got lived experience that I want to share with you to make your transition as smooth as it can possibly be. Because guys, I'm in tears some days here in Mexico. I cannot believe that I live here. I'm telling you, it happens once a week. It used to happen every day, but it still happens once a week where I have to stop myself. It's like, bro, can you believe you're here in Playa del Carmen? Can you believe that you live here and that everything you need is at your disposal? I'm taking salsa classes. I want to start doing language exchange events. I want to do these. I want to get in the community. I'm already volunteering with, youth basketball. I can't believe how good my life is, guys. And that part, I didn't know to think to ask the guys what the mental transition looks like. But guys, I can tell you, if you choose the right country, it's amazing. And here's another point. The first country you choose doesn't have to be your last. You don't have to stay there. You have freedom. That's one thing the United States will provide you if you're working and you taking care of your money, or you're investing, or you got a pension or whatever. That's one gift that the U.S. can give you that can allow you to live a lot of different places around the world very comfortably. Okay, so it's okay if you pick the first country that you pick doesn't feed your soul, there's something about it that you didn't anticipate, that you don't like. That's fine. There are a bunch of other countries that you can go to. Okay, so the pressure to pick the right place, I think, gets a lot of people stuck, and that's where your point guard can help you with that. I can assess the floor, I can assess the defense, and I can put you in a position to score and be successful, man. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. I've been a point guard since I was 5 years old. I'm 58. That's 53 years of being a leader on and off the floor. Okay? All right. So, guys, I want you to do your research, but at some point the research time frame collapses, and you got to make a move. You got to make a decision. There is no perfect country for everyone. There is no perfect time for anyone. Okay? A lot of you guys, your research is a mask covering up your fear. And you should be fearful. You're leaving your birth home in order to make a new life in another country that you may or may not know a lot of information about. You're supposed to be fearful. That's natural, guys. But don't sit there and research ad nauseum and not make a decision or not make progress moving towards something. Because what I'm telling you is, I said this back in December on TikTok, and that freaking video has over 80,000 views. Guys, you're not going to be able to move around like you think you want to pretty soon. This Hanta virus is coming. The World War III and locking up the oil reserves is here. We're not going to be able to move around as freely as we do today, May 6th, 2026. Our days of freedom of movement are numbered, guys. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to scare y'all. I drop facts. I'm an analyst by trade. I'm a sports reporter by trade, meaning reporter, meaning go get all the facts. And before you write your story, make sure that you're factual with what you're saying. I'll give you my opinion on the way I think things are. And those can be taken into consideration for interpretation. But when I'm telling you that you're not going to be able to move around as freely as you do today, probably within the next month or two, you need to start making, if you are interested at all, fellas, in making a move, you need to start you need to start making that move, and you need to start putting things in place. And if you're going to stay, you need to start planning. You need to start putting things in place. There's going to be food shortages. There's going to be fuel shortages. We might have a lockdown again. With this hantavirus coming, now I think half the citizens will revolt if the government tries to do that. But it's coming. Guys, it's coming. The last time this administration was in office, the country went to crap. What do you think is going to happen this time? What's happening right now? Don't put your head in the sand, guys. If you're going to stay, go ahead, but you got to prepare. This is not the time. You can't sit still and let it blow over. This isn't a hurricane. It's not blowing over. It's not. Okay? All right. Let me, those are my points there that I want to break down to you. Let me get over here to the comments. What's up, Roderick Miller? No, bro, you on time. You're always on time. Thank you for showing up. Good to see you. Charles D, what's up, brother? Being alone doesn't necessarily mean being alone. Oh, preach, brother. That's real. That's real. Loneliness takes on a few different forms, and Charles is exactly right. Okay. Roderick, I'm going to get you this. Since I just set this up, I'm going to give you this thing right now. Nope, not that. Here, I'm going to highlight free throw 15 link here. Bear with me here, guys. All right, let's see if I can put that up. There it is. Okay, so the free throw 15 link is in the comments, and I'm going to, that is now the starred comments in there. So, Roger, you can definitely get that. Thank you for your interest, man. I really, I look forward to talking to you, Roger. You've been very supportive of Next Chapter 4, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to talking with you and seeing where you are and seeing if I can be of value to you. You know what, Matthew? I was having trouble with my links. I got it fixed. Do me a favor. Go to that. I just put the link for the free throw 15 call. Go there and schedule your free throw 15 call. I apologize about that. Okay, Charles. My challenge is deciding between buying and renting. I'm leaning towards renting, but I don't like the idea of someone else having a key and be able to come and go. Now, Charles, okay. Great call, Charles. Thank you for bringing this up. Let's break this down a little bit. So I used to study like wealthy people, how they made their money, what they did, how they lived, whatnot. And so Robert Kiyosaki, you guys probably know him, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks a lot about what rich people do when they have money. And so the contrary belief, because my parents were of this mindset, you got to buy as much house as you can afford because it will always appreciate, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't work any longer. What Robert Kiyosaki said, he rents where he lives, but he owns where he makes money. So he owns real estate, right? He owns income producing properties, but where he rests his head, he rents. Why does he do that? Because if you take a $500,000 home in the United States, and generally you're going to have to put 20% down, right? So that is, what is that, 100,000? Isn't that right? 100,000? So you got to put 100,000 down, and you're more than likely going to have about a $2,500 note, let's just say, mortgage. So you're out of the mortgage company has your $100,000. That's gone, right? And now you're starting to have a $2,500 a month mortgage, right? On top of that mortgage, insurance, repairs, upkeep, maintenance, all that stuff comes out of your pocket when you own. Rich people or people with money like cost certainty. It's very difficult to have cost certainty when you own because you have to take care of everything. In this 2-bedroom apartment that me and my son are in right now, the toilet has been leaking. We've had some issues in here. I don't have to pay nothing. I pick up the phone and nothing comes out of my pocket. And Charles, to your point, they don't have a key to this place. I'm the only one that has the key. I've made copies, but they don't have a key to come in and out. That's not how it works in Mexico. Okay. So once you lease a place in Mexico, they give you the key. Unless you give them a key or you make keys and give them a key to come in and do work or whatever, you have to be there when they come and repair whatever. So you see what I'm getting at, Charles? So if you are trying to budget out the next 25 to 30 years and seeing what you need, and let's just say you want to find a place that you can live comfortably and do everything you want to do for $3,000 to $3,500. Let's just say, let's ball a little bit. And I know that sounds crazy, right? $3,000, $3,500 a month is balling, but I'm telling you, here in Mexico, that's balling. All right. If you're trying to project 15, 20, 25, 30 years, you need more cost certainty. When you buy in a foreign country, there's all kind of stuff that you're going to have to rely on somebody else to really safeguard you from the pitfalls, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, fellas? So every time I tell my clients, rent first, because you can always buy. You can always in foreign countries, guys, breaking a lease is not difficult at all. Happens all the time. It's not like the United States. It's very, very different here. Very different around the world. You can break a lease at any time. If you just find a place and you just need, if owning makes you feel better, then go ahead. But I would caution you, Charles, and any other brother that's on this call. If you are buying property in a foreign country, you better be careful. Just understand what I'm saying. Even if you come with an all cash purchase, you better be careful. I always tell my clients, rent first. I don't give a damn if you want to own. You need to rent at least a year to know the lay of the land before you decide to own. So thank you, Charles. That's a great topic that I probably need to do a full video on because that's a great, great question. Okay, here you go. Great point. Another challenge is maintaining a home here in the U.S., which would mean managing 2 homes, but I'm okay with that. Okay. I think you're okay with it, Charles, because you're projecting that the maintenance of a home that you have now is going to be the same in a foreign country. It's not. It's going to be different. So that's the only reason I say that. So guys, if you're going to maintain a home in the United States, I unequivocally say rent. I would never tell a person to own. Because unless you are willing to pay a management company to maintain those properties like that, that's an unnecessary cost in my opinion. And I think for ease of transition, we've got such strong habits in living in the United States. We get these strong narratives that, oh, you got to own. When you rent, you're throwing your money away. No, you always have to have a place to lay your head. It may not be making you money, but you cover the expenses of putting your head to rest. But when something breaks, if something happens, you're not out of pocket. So I always say rent first. Thank you, Charles. This is great. Man, I love y'all, man. You brothers are so good. I can't say enough. Oh, what's up? What's up, Geechee Dan? Next time you're in Mexico, you got to meet brother Curtis Ross from the USA. I follow him. He's an OG to traveling and moved his family to Mexico about 4 years ago. Something living in Mexico. I follow him because he's in a suburb of Merida, Concol or something. Yeah, I follow that brother. I definitely will reach out to him the next time I'm in Merida. He does a good job. He's funny too. He does a really, really good job. Oh, Big Illinois 28. I love that. What's up, Big Illinois 28? How you doing? I'm not if this is your first time on Next Chapter Forward, welcome, brother. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being in here. Eld 8494, peace, brother. Good. Hey, Charles, you know what, man? Look, I got a guy that I've become friends with. His name is Andre the Farmer. He is huge. He's got 870,000 followers on TikTok, and I think another 600,000 on IG. He's an orthodontist by trade. Sold his practice in Orlando. He and his wife Jillian, they've got a house in Orlando, and they've got an acre of land around their house. They bought a house here in Playa del Carmen. Man, listen, that joint is nice. And his wife's an interior designer, so they've got all this African art. And oh man, they got a fat crib here. Now, obviously, Andre's done very well with his money, and he's of the mindset, Charles, you might be of the same ilk, that when you have that type of money and you want to participate in the local real estate game, hey, go by all means, bro. If you stacking like that, knock yourself out. But I often try to come from the standpoint of the average Black man that's over 50, and I want it to be attainable, right? I think that most people that have lived in the United States, that have worked, that now maybe get their Social Security or get a pension, most people can live comfortably on $2,000. Most people will get those type of benefits from Social Security or a pension or something like that. And so buying a property somewhere on that type of budget may be cost prohibitive. But if you balling like that, knock yourself out, bro, for sure. M. Namdi, good to see you, brother. Thanks for always tuning in. But only from established companies that you have carefully researched. Make sure you are legal there before you buy, or at least in the residency pathway. M. Namdi makes a great point. I've been struggling with that residency, Namdi. I'm trying to get it done. I've been kind of screwed over twice. I think I've got this reputable woman that I'm working with now, and she's bilingual. That's a key, guys. Don't get somebody that speaks just Spanish like I tried to. He was from a reference that came highly referred, but the person that referred me is bilingual. Well, she's actually trilingual because she speaks German, Spanish, and English, and I think she speaks French too. So she was doing that. She gave me that reference thinking that, I would be able to communicate with this cat in Spanish. I'm not at that level yet because we're talking business. So Namdi makes a very good point. When you are trying to do something like this in a legal matter, get somebody that's bilingual, guys. Don't get somebody that's all Spanish that says, oh yeah, I can understand English and we can train. No, don't do that. Because when it comes down to a legal pathway, you don't want any ambiguity. You want to be strong on what you're trying to do. So thank you, Namdi, for that. Oh, well, Charles, you're good then. You buy your property, brother. Wherever you try to go, buy your property. Because if you in finance and tech, yeah, you're doing well. You're doing well. All right, guys. Well, look, if anything I've shared today with you has sparked something, and if you're sitting there thinking, I've been thinking about this for a year or two, and I still haven't moved on it, That's exactly what this country clarity call is for. Now, the free throw 15 calls are free. The country clarity call is a paid service. That's an hour-long phone call between me and you. We'll go through everything. Like for Charles, for example, I would go through and ask him, are you single or are you going to travel with a family? Are you a beach person? Are you a city person? Do you want to be in the mountains? Do you want to be, what kind of climate do you want to live in? What is your budget? Are you big into community or are you kind of a solo cat? Are you looking to date in the country that you're going to? And if so, here's some things you may want to think about. Here are a group of Facebook groups that you can join right now before you make the relocation trek, that you can start to communicate. You can make connections with people so that when you hit the ground, you can hit the ground moving with people that you know and that you can start to build rapport with immediately. You just won't feel like you're alone when you get to your next chapter. Okay, the link is in the description. It's $127 for the call. And if that interests you, let me know. Okay, it's in my bio. It's in my profile. Yeah, it's in my bio. The link is in my profile. You can go see it. If that interests you, let me know. Okay, I have another program that really is kind of, I hold people's hands. It's a total transformation package, and I work with you for 12 weeks straight. From the day we start until the end of 12 weeks, we have the country mapped out. We have the place mapped out that you're going to live. We've identified the different Facebook groups. I have a contact brother on the ground that you will be able to connect with as you're making your preparations to relocate, so that you've got somebody that you've already spoken with on several occasions, that you have a rapport with. They know who you are. They know what your situation is. You know who they are. That when you hit the ground, everything is smooth. Okay. Obviously, that's at a higher price point, but if that interests you, put transformation package in the comments, and I'll send you some information on it. Okay. All right. So, guys, just to recap real quick, there were a few things that I didn't understand when I came here. I'm a year in now. And the fact that I left a wonderful job situation. I was working with 3 national networks, making good money, covering the game that I love, doing everything I want to do. And it got so bad for me in the United States that I had to leave all that behind. Family, friends, everything. And I am so happy I made the move. I can't tell you how happy I am now that I live here in Playa del Carmen. And I want that same thing for all of you. So, fellas, thanks so much for tuning in to Next Chapter Forward. We go live every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do me a favor, fellas. Pick one brother, not a bunch, just one brother that you think would benefit from this content. Share the Next Chapter Forward YouTube channel with them. Share this live stream with them. Give them the URL for this live stream. Let them check it out. Let's grow this thing, not in a huge way, but let's get a nice community of brothers that we can support each other. That, 1 year we're going to meet up in South Africa. Another year, we're going to meet up in Thailand. The 3rd year, we'll meet up here in Mexico. 4th year, who knows? We might go to Brazil, right? But let's grow this so that we know that we don't have turncoats in our midst, that we have brothers that are of the same ilk and mindset. The upliftment of Black people around the world. That's really what Next Chapter Forward is all about. It's uplifting Black people around the world. And I'm starting with Black men over 50 in the United States. If that interests you, come along for the ride, because it's going to be a great one, fellas. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're listening to this on the replay, put your questions in the comments. I come back and check these every day, and I will answer all of your questions, okay? Once again, brothers, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you being active members. And, I got to get something special for Roderick Miller, Charles D, Namdi, M. Namdi, Matthew, Geechee Dan. You cats show up every week, man. I love y'all for it. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, holla, y'all.